The carnage of the solar system.
In our solar system long ago, all the planets lived in peace and got along. The worlds were sublime with life, just like we have on Earth. Many different angelic and peregrine creatures roamed the planets. The food chain always worked and Mother Nature always prospered. This was a time where gods ruled the universe and did their jobs well. The 7 worlds, but what used to be 8 until Pluto was cast out into deep space for his betrayal. Mercury was controlled by Mercury, the winged messenger who provided mail and messages for all the gods. Venus was inhabited by Venus, the goddess of love. With eyes of blue, she could see the beauty in everything. Jupiter was controlled by Jupiter, the king of all Roman gods. He kept the gods in check and their powers balanced. Saturn was composed by Saturn, the god of agriculture. He made the people who lived on the planets and decided their cultures. Uranus was guarded by Uranus, the god of the sky. He decided and controlled the weather. Neptune was controlled by Neptune, the lord of sea. He controlled the tides and checked and protected all aquatic life. Finally, the star of the story, Mars, was controlled by Mars, the god of war, masculinity, petulance, and unforgiveness. He controlled the wars that are brought. That is where this story will commence.
Mars was the alpha male, and what had his armies who would stand by his side no matter what. As the years went on, his mortality began to change. This negligible sphere of a planet is not enough for the mighty Mars, he said with frustration. He began egotistic and wanted to rule all the planets for himself, so he prepared his armies and set off to Mercury. Mercury soon heard the news and fled the planet, knowing he could not win the battle against Mars. When Mars finally arrived at Mercury, he noticed the planet was abandoned. The many soldiers boasted in declaring the battle a win, but Mars felt this planet was too small for his liking. But with that, he demanded that one of his armies stay and destroy this planet. They did as they were told, and Mercury watched as his once beautiful planet was completely disintegrated.
Mars' next planet to attack was Venus. Venus heard the drums of war and did not wish to fight. Mars arrived and boasted, "Give me your exquisite planet, or I will destroy you and your planet until it is as grotesque as possible." Venus refused to fight or give Mars her planet. Mars throws balls of fire as thermogenic as the sun's core, over and over again at her. The pain is now insufferable to Venus, and she grows cold, but as Venus dies, the planet follows in her footsteps. Leaving her admirable planet in empty ruins, Mars becomes unstoppable, and the anger he once controlled began to spread like a forest fire. The next planet to get attacked was Saturn. Saturn tries to stop Mars, throwing lightning bolt one by one and create people to fight against Mars, but nothing works. After this battle started, it also ended because Mars overpowered the god Saturn and made him immerse in fire. Mars lifts up and throws Saturn and his dead body halfway across the planet. Mars then demands that his armies stay and attack the remaining people on the planet. They burn villages and drive families from their homes. The rage from the fathers and the suffering from the people only fuels Mars more. He stands and watches the flames.
As Mars watches Saturn being destroyed, Mars decides to leave the planet and finish the war he has started. Next was Neptune, blue from the seas that exist on the planets. Neptune hides under the water and hoped that Mars will not see him. However, he knew Neptune would try that. Mars began polluting the water, enraging Neptune. They fought fiercely. Mars drew flames from his hand, but Neptune just put it out. So with one foul movement of his fist, Mars knocked out Neptune and drowned him, never to be seen again. Without Neptune, though, the seas became uncontrollable and all life was wiped out.
Uranus is the only one left standing. He makes it storm, causing lightning to fall from the sky, hitting Mars' army. Thunder becomes so loud, it scares the rest away. It soon becomes a beacon of hail and it dents Mars' helmet. But Mars does not care. Uranus, with all of his might, tries to stop Mars, but the feeling deep down inside that Uranus is still scared fuels Mars. Mars draws his sword and swings it left and right. Uranus brings wind trying to blow him away, but Mars gets closer and closer and closer. Then finally, the fight is over and Uranus falls to the ground. Mars arrives at Jupiter with his army. Mars knows that his powers will not work on such a powerful god like Jupiter, so they both draw their swords and run at one another. As Jupiter and Mars are fighting, Jupiter picks up Mars up high and throws him down hard into the surface of Jupiter's planet, causing a crater to form. Jupiter regains his sword, and before he can end the fight, he stops and says, "You've taken away all the beauty in this planet and this solar system. You have desecrated the honor that you once had. You are now banished to your planet, never to leave it. I want you to feel the pain that others have felt. And I want you to look at what you have done and become." And with the power Jupiter had left in his body, he created a planet and gave it powers like soldiers. Creating an ozone layer, representing a shield. Animals as one of protecting the planet's life. Though Mars still lives, plotting his revenge.